Kinsey's Right Royal Roundup.
Morning to you, Your Majesty, Kinsey Schofield. How are you this morning?
I'm much better now that I've wished you a happy birthday in the most vulgar possible way that I could imagine.
Are you talking about Instagram here?
Yes.
And the message that... well, do you want to see what I received from Kinsey on Instagram? I shall show it to you. I just want to draw your attention to this picture. It is a picture of me in cartoon form. Now, I have to say, I've nothing against being portrayed in cartoon form. I think I look very nice in that picture. Thank you. And then behind me is what looks like a naked picture of Paul Burrell, the everyone's favourite royal butler, in a Santa hat, looking like he's wearing absolutely nothing. And what you've done there is you've butchered a picture of the real Full Monty, where he obviously which is on TV tomorrow night, where one of their publicity pictures he looks like he's naked, and you have fused my face essentially onto his naked body.
I think that butchered is the wrong word. I've enhanced this photo. I love Paul, and I just thought, what are the most two magnificent things that I could put together for Cristo's birthday that would bring me joy? And it was Paul and his little package, and you.
Didn't he have some of the Queen's dresses in that package? Oh, no. He was found not to have Diana's stuff in that package. There seems to be a lot of Diana's stuff in that package, which of course he was found not guilty of any wrongdoing over all of that. Well, thank you that two of your favourite things in the world are me and Paul Burrell's naked body. I don't know what that says about you, and I don't know whether I should take that as a compliment or a grave insult, but thank you for those kind wishes. I actually received that picture over dinner last night.
Oh, no.
And so how I was able to get through my steak, I have no idea.
With your 4 dogs, you were already like not in control.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's a lovely restaurant. And the owner or the manageress gets really annoyed when we don't bring the dogs. But we had an incident when we arrived because we all brought the dogs in, and some woman who was sitting at a table at the front said, "Oh God," she said, "it's like Battersea Dogs Home in here."
Oh, I loathe that. That makes me so angry whenever that happens to me.
And I looked at her and I said, "Yeah, you're right." Not very
well, I'm
nice.
glad you had a happy birthday.
Thank you very much indeed. Now, should we start with this story, actually, because it is sort of a bit Paul Burrell-esque. Interesting front page on the Mail on Sunday today. I don't know if you've seen this story, but the BBC has been ordered to release secret Diana emails. Now, the judge who is looking into this has questioned the honesty of the BBC over, get this, 3,200 hidden papers over this dodgy Panorama interview where Martin Bashir essentially fabricated evidence in order to get Diana, Princess of Wales, to agree to this interview. We know that he falsified bank statements to show that some of Diana's inner circle were being paid to essentially spy on her. We know that he falsified other information in order to get close to Diana's brother, the Earl Spencer. All of these duplicitous actions and criminal actions, all to lull Diana, Princess of Wales, into doing this interview. Well, the BBC has been ordered to hand over a cache of thousands of emails that will reignite this scandal. A leading judge has slammed the broadcaster over its attempts to keep secret the potentially explosive documents which would expose or could expose an ongoing cover-up of what executives knew about Martin Bashir's conduct in securing his scoop. In a damning ruling obtained by the Mail on Sunday, the judge questioned the corporation's honesty after it fought a 2-year campaign to keep the emails under wraps. And the newspaper reveals how an extraordinary intervention by Judge Brian Kennedy, KC, has ordered BBC bosses to immediately disclose large numbers of the messages and voiced his serious concern at their attempts to keep them out of the public domain. Your reaction, Kinsey, to that?
Well, my first reaction is I know how upset people are at the idea of the BBC licensing fee going up, and they've spent over $100,000 to try to fight this, to try to keep these emails hidden. That's $100,000 that people are paying in the licensing fee that has been going into trying to hide this betrayal. We've talked about it numerous times, but the fact that Diana was so frightened by this fake evidence that Martin Bashir had presented to her that she got rid of her protection, that truly could have led to her death. That could be why she's not here with us today. This is something that Prince William has been incredibly outspoken about. And he said, please don't ever show it again. So then here comes Prince Harry showing it again on the Netflix series. But a lot of people feel like this was maybe step one when it came to the premature death of Princess Diana.
Oh, I've said it many times before. I'll say it again. Princess Diana, Martin Bashir has Diana's blood on his hands. I genuinely believe that that man contributed to her death, because you're absolutely correct. It was that feeling of paranoia that he contributed to. It wasn't solely responsible, but he 100% contributed to that feeling of paranoia by the people around her betraying her, people employed by the palace betraying her, which made her happy to dispense with any of the royal security. She didn't want royal security around her because she felt that she was being spied on. And it doesn't take a genius to say, well, look, you only had one royal protection officer with you when you ended up killed in a tunnel in Paris in a high-speed chase that would never have been allowed to have got that far had you had proper state-funded royal protection. And the reason you were happy to dispense with that was because of Martin Bashir's contribution to making you believe that these people were spying on you and did not have your best interests at heart. That man has her blood on his hands.
Don't you think that the BBC would look better, though, if they did push this all off on Martin Bashir? Like, the fact that they've invested so much in protecting the truth, makes it look like they are protecting this individual. And in doing that, they're aligning themselves with his actions.
Yes, but the conversely, immediately I believe when I read this that they knew, or they found out a lot sooner than we are led to believe. They might not have known at the time he secured the interview, but they might well have found out a lot sooner than we are led to believe that they found out. And I mean, just look at other scandals. Look at Jimmy Savile. Look at other things that have gone on within those within the BBC's four walls, where they have allowed behaviour to go on, where they have claimed that they knew nothing about it. Well, a lot of people are very cynical about that. A lot of people are right to be very cynical about this. So I think you're right. If they didn't have any guilt here, why wouldn't they just release all this information? Mm-hmm. Because I think that they knew a little bit more than they're letting on.
Right, and you know, rally. I'd say if I were BBC, I'd say we're going to be in the front of this story. We're going to be knocking on Martin Bashir's door, trying to get a comment. I would really go full steam ahead and try to become the number one source for this story unraveling. But to put so much effort and to put so much money behind trying to hide this, I think is pretty scandalous. And at the time of the printing, they said that they had not coughed up these emails yet. Yeah,
and also apparently a damning document, including a bombshell 1996 memo by former BBC executive Anne Sloman that indicated a cynical attempt to cover up what the corporation knew of Bashir's activities. The Diana story is probably now dead unless Spencer talks, she concluded in the memo that only came to light a year later. But while the BBC withheld this damning document from Mr. Webb, who was the investigative journalist who uncovered this story, it did make public another memo that made a false and highly defamatory claim about the Earl. So in all of this screams cover-up. And I am bearing in mind that Martin Bashir as well went on to have quite an esteemed career. He interviewed Michael Jackson.
He came over here to America. He was like, you know, he became a huge deal in the States as well.
I mean, the BBC last night accepted mistakes have been made in this case, saying we have worked to improve our processes since, and they have apologised to Mr. Webb, who was the Andy Webb, who was the investigative journalist who was uncovering all of this, and the tribunal. And we are currently considering the tribunal's decision carefully. It would not be appropriate to comment while legal proceedings are ongoing. So there we go. Cover-ups and dishonesty. Again, our right royal rounder, I suppose. Mind you, that sounds like you are rounder, and you're not rounder. You're beautifully...
Wait, I wrote a rap while I waited for the commercial break to end.
I'm sorry, you wrote a rap?
Yeah, it says cover up and dishonesty, but we're going to increase the license fee.
Oh.
That's all I have.
Booyaka Shah.
Don't ever do that again.
Cover up and dishonesty, but we're going to increase the license fee. Boom, boom, boom. Oh my God, we are just so cool. We really, really are. That was not two tragic middle-aged people doing that, was it?
No. Tragic is exactly the way I'd go.
Yeah. Okay. Let's. That was, of course, referring to the... I think I've just ended my career. That was, of course, referring to the Diana situation at the BBC. Let's talk about some more cover-ups and dishonesty. So, if you remember rightly, Omid Scobie... Now, we've got the picture of Omid Scobie. We were very childish last week. We showed a picture of a character from Thunderbirds instead of Omid Scobie. We've got the real picture this morning. Let's take a look at Omid. Oh no. There he is. That's Omid Scobie. No, it's Virgil Tracy, a plastic puppet from Thunderbirds. Very, very easy to confuse Omid Scobie with a plastic puppet, of course, because there's not much difference. And now we find out from Omid Scobie, after having completely and consistently denied that he ever wrote a draft of Endgame naming these alleged royal racists, he has now said he did write a draft of Endgame allegedly naming these royal racists. I mean, does that just mean now no more credibility? You are, in fact, completely dishonest? Or should we give him the benefit of the doubt?
And on Twitter, he denied that he ever brought his family into it. He denied that he ever said on his family's life that it wasn't a publicity stunt. So people are like clipping him saying it on TV and dropping it under the tweet where he says he never swore on his family's life that it wasn't a publicity stunt, even though that clip exists. And he just said it like a few days ago. I mean, recollections may vary, but I do have the reaction from his publisher, so I want to read it word for word.
Okay.
You know, Omid said that it was an early and uncleared text that was translated and ended up published in error. The publisher's response is that Omid's explanation was factually incorrect and that they do not recognize themselves in his representation of the events.
So even the publisher is saying, look, we don't want anything more to do with the way in which you're portraying all of this.
Yeah, the publisher is saying factually incorrect.
I don't understand why he can't have just said, when all of this blew up, you know what, I did put the names in an early draft, it mistakenly got published, so sorry, everyone.
I just don't... I think that I have no clue. I can't tell you, because I want to say there are very serious fan theories that this is a strategy so that Meghan is able to elaborate in her published book without the backlash of the big reveal and without the palace coming after her. She can say, the information's already out there. I just thought I wanted to get my side of the story out there. By the way...
So he is a plastic puppet, then? I mean, we are not wrong to actually call him that, because that is essentially the service he is providing for her. And I just want to say, I'd love to know the circumstances, because if somebody just asked what color the baby's skin would be, I would point them towards a July 2013 article that CNN wrote about Kate Middleton's baby, where they say that Kate Middleton's baby is likely to have darker skin because of her genes. These are the same conversations that Catherine, the Princess of Wales, had to deal with when she was pregnant. So I want to know what the big hubbub is about. What was said? What were the circumstances? I couldn't agree more. We do not know. And I still stand by my theory that this all refers to the conversation that the then Prince Charles had with his wife, Camilla, who, of course, was the Princess of Wales at the time. And I believe that it is that conversation that is what all of this came from. But now the Princess of Wales is Kate. This is being used in order to smear Kate, because Meghan and Harry have a problem with Princess Kate, with the now Princess of Wales. And I genuinely believe that that's what's going on here. I cannot fathom why Princess Catherine would have had a negative conversation about the child's skin colouring at all, but it is very clear when you read Prince Harry's moan-a-thon, which is Spare, that there is an issue with Catherine that Meghan has and that he has as a result of this alleged tension between them. What a perfect way of throwing her under the bus by claiming that that is the Princess of Wales, when in actual fact it is documented there was a conversation between Charles and Camilla when they were the Prince and Princess of Wales that this happened. That's my theory.
And again, like something so innocent and something that is not too, something so innocent. This is a king that was surprised by the way Harry looked when he was born. He was surprised by that dominant Spencer gene and red hair, and he said that to Diana, and he was surprised that Harry was a little boy. So I think that Charles has proven that he's curious about babies, and I don't think that there's a vindictive bone in anyone's body. So silly to even have to still be rehashing this.
It's true, but they want us to. I mean, in a way, we're playing right into their hands, because also the other thing is that by distancing themselves, the royal family, this is, from Harry and Meghan, it means that they've only got all of this to churn back up, because there isn't any new material for them to play victim about. And it's not cutting it with the American public, is it?
No, there was a new poll by the Daily Mail that saw Catherine the most popular royal, 44%. Prince William was 36%. Prince Harry, 28%. Meghan Markle, 21%. 26% of the people that took this poll said that they really did not appreciate Harry and Meghan inserting themselves into American politics. So even statistically, America is just over it. And then I'll really quickly, the Hollywood Reporter, which is basically the entertainment Bible here in the States, have released their list of biggest winners and biggest losers for 2023. Harry and Meghan making the losers list. So it's not just America in general, it's the industry that are turning their backs on Harry and Meghan.
Well, I read a report this week as well that as a result of this uproar, Meghan might even lose her Hollywood agent.
I think that there's definitely some strategy discussions happening behind the scenes, because how do you market her? I mean, we've talked about this before. If Harry and Meghan continue to attack the British royal family, the brands that want to work with the British royal family, which, this family that is seen as elite and admirable and just the dream, like Dior, like Louis Vuitton, just luxury, they're not going to want to touch Harry and Meghan if Harry and Meghan continue to attack the family, because they want to work with the family.
Yeah, I've told you, Harry and Meghan think that they're at the Dior level, but they're at the Walmart level. They really are.
Yeah, but not the Hollywood Reporter's calling you a loser.
Yeah, so that's the brands they're going to get. They think that they're going to get Dior, but they're not going to get Dior. They're going to get Walmart. They're going to get those sorts of
Temu, the Temu.
brands. Exactly, all of that stuff. That's what they'll be getting. They want to be marketing Bentleys. They're going to be marketing Subarus. You know, that is the level that they are at. Let's talk about a nice final story. We've got a couple of minutes left. This is the Christmas card, as you can see here, that has been issued by Prince and Princess of Wales, William and Kate. Family Christmas card signalling a new era for the Wales family. Why is this a new era, do you think?
I think it's so toned down, and it shows you that their focus is their family. It shows you that they are they're rising above the fray. I feel like there is a simple peace that comes with the photo. That's like, yes, I've seen the JCPenney jokes, I've seen the Gap, jokes, but to me, this is toned down to say, we are on your level. We hear you. Let's raise brilliant, happy, mentally stable babies that are loved by their parents. And, let's look forward to the future. I just think that there's something very down to earth about it.
Well, that could be, I mean, of course, it's a professionally done photograph, but that could very easily be a photograph that you'd see on a family's wall when they, families go and get photographs done professionally now and then. And you're right. I mean, if you contrast it, I don't know if you can see this. We haven't actually got the photo in because this is hot off the press, but I'll just try and get it as close as possible. If you can contrast that with the King and Queen, who have got themselves in full regalia. They're wearing they're literally their coronation crowns and their coronation tunic for their one. I have to say that if in an age of a cost of living crisis, it's definitely the Prince and Princess of Wales that are winning the, we are one of you, as you say, a battle. And I think that the understated elegance of their card is absolutely lovely.